Good morning, my followers. Thank you so much since you subscribe my YouTube. As usual, I'm going to talk about Ethiopia. You know that my YouTube most of the time it has not the same algorithm actually. I usually express my deep feeling towards my country as a whole. Most of the time, I try to mention some points in poem. Sometimes I narrate some news and analyze some news items regarding to the country that we love. You know that Ethiopia is a huge country that found in East Africa. The very determinant, the very important and crucial nation to the Horn Africa. That way, because of the geopolitics and because of our geopolitics near to the Red Sea, and it is very crucial not alone for Africa and Ethiopia itself, but also as the international level. That's why the heartbeat of all human beings towards Ethiopia. What history told us, especially now, month is Yekatit, yeah? During this time, there is a battle of Adwa that we beat the white by our hero ancestors. What Ethiopians unique from other African countries as well as from the world, what we make are unique, we are kind and humble, decent people, naturally, because our morality is designed by religion, fear of God. We believe in God. Many of Ethiopians are believed by God. Actually, there is two religions, Muslim and Christian, here in Ethiopia. Both of them are, they respect each other, very special from other countries in the world. So, we are one of the most important people in the world. What history told us, we are an example of all black Africa because of fighting against white powers. During Adwa, in the Battle of Adwa, when the white come to occupy us, to slave us, to colonize us, we are fighting against them and we beat them strongly. That is what we makes us strong. Actually, our country, Ethiopia, her history is full of war. That's why we are the poorest nation in the world. For instance, there was the battle between Ethiopia and Egypt, because of so many interests. Actually, the Arab interest to make Ethiopia one of the member of Islamic country, like Arab League, something like that. They have high agenda, high interest to make Ethiopia as other African countries. The Western also want Ethiopia to want to member of their civilization, to deny Ethiopians' identity, Ethiopians' culture. That way, they always fight by different kinds of economic sanction, political interfere, and others. So, after the Battle of Adwa, Italy again occupied us, and the freedom fighters, Fano, they were fighting the white people, and they can again defeat them. But after that, what happened? Because of the conspiracy of politics, because of the geographical location of Ethiopia, we are always fight one another. We are fighting each other. There is war. There is civil war here in Ethiopia. So we are weakened by our economic power. If we are poorest by economy, it is impossible to be free from other influence. So, what is the reason behind it? Why we don't listen one to another? Why we do kill our times by silly issues? because the white people, as well as our corrupt, weak leaders, usually divided the people by different kinds of ethnic conflict, by religion, by different kinds of means. Then the people going to fight each other. They don't focus on working. They don't focus thinking. They don't increase their capacity of reading and writing, as well as thinking deeply. They cannot think about thinking. They are not logical and rational. Because if there is no rational and logical human being, if a human being cannot be rational again, it may be difficult to be survive and to be fit. Actually, what the Darwin theory said, that survival of the fittest. Now, the hero can be gone in the way of fit. But if you are lazy, if you are not competent with the globe as well as with individually, it may be difficult to be survived in this world. So we are the white or the Western people are scanner world, but Ethiopians little bit are spiritual. But they are going to be denied their spirituality nowadays because they do evils most of the time throughout the country nowadays. There is civil war, there is cruelty, crime. We are always fighting. We don't have no agreement with an idea ideologically. Actually, we don't have even clear-cut point of view about ideology. What's our ideology? What's our political ideology? What is the best problem of Ethiopia? What is the worst one? We don't identify it. Simply, we are fighting each other. We are going to without any plan, ideology, and logical line. That's the problem of Ethiopian. Everybody knows that Ethiopia is one of the most dominant nations in Africa. In Africa, Africa Union before 2 or 1 a week, I think a week ago there was a gathering. There was meeting conference. They deal about the fate of Africa. Here in Addis Ababa, the capital city of Africa, the capital city of Ethiopia. But the African cannot solve their problem by Africans because they were colonized many of African countries. The culture of Western makes them a little bit very difficult for them to determine their own interest. Because whites are going to for their public interest, for their own interest. They need Africa for their own interest. Maybe to get raw materials, maybe to get materials here in Africa, to make their superiority on Africa, and Africa are going to be what inferiority. They still fear the white because Africans most of the time they have not advanced by technology. They cannot get more educated knowledge. They don't even understand themselves. Due to that reason, still we are dependent on the white people. That makes us a little bit hard. So when it comes to Ethiopia, now Ethiopia, so we defeated the whites in adwa, but this generation, because of the ideology, they were intoxicated by their knowledge. We are depend on the white people, our culture, our knowledge, our attitude. Most of our identity is just we lost our identity in short term. Due to that reason, now we are fighting one another. They are fighting in Amhara region, Tigray region, as well as Oromia region. The government cannot resolve the problem peacefully because under the government, some officials are corrupt. Since they are corrupt, the corruption is very difficult and evil thing for Africa as well as Ethiopia. Have you ever read The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born by author of Ghana? He wrote about corruption in that fiction. Actually, that's fiction, but fictions are the reflection of the truth, the real world, even though it is imaginary work of art. Because of Ethiopians, some officials are so corrupted, to not exposed by the government and by the concerned body, they usually hide themselves by creating a lot of conflicts, constant conflict. So, how can we resolve our problems? Usually, Ethiopians adapted bad culture that they try to resolve their problem by gun, by fighting each other. Fighting cannot solve any problem, by the way. It is better to listen the problem, to list the problem. What is the core problem of the country? There are a lot of number of cautions in this country. Common sense is very important. Try to keep the public interest of Ethiopia. Lying, pseudo-democracy, and cheating, gambling, conspiracy, and other things are makes us destroy our beautiful country. Ethiopia is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. That nobody can deny this. Not only that, but also we are an example of all black Africans. The weather condition, the climate is so good. Not only this, but also we have brave people that can fight against poverty. We need freedom. Freedom is very important for a given society. But because of some our officials, some our politicians and elites, they don't have common agenda. They try to create conflict among the nations, among peoples themselves, internal problem. They create problem usually by pseudo information, fake narration, fake news, by fake story. Just they rise some people that maybe died 100 and above years ago. They killed some innocent ethnic groups. They said that they create the term narration. That narration may not be based on truth. So that's a great problem. We have to focus to our future fate rather than talking about the past usually. It is better focus on love rather than hate. But most of the time, we focus for negative energies, negative things. Just fighting and we focus on irrelevant issues. We kill our times by something that not good for our development, to overcome the problem of political, economic, and social affairs of the country. So when we remember the Battle of Adwa, when we remember our hero sisters and independent nation, just usually we have to remarkable or remember that we have to kill poverty. To kill poverty, to eradicate poverty, knowledge is very important. Rationality is very important. Logical people is very important. We have to be logical for every aspect of our activity, economical, political, social improvement. But if we don't agree to live together, if we divide it always, we'll fall. If we stand together, we can win whatever, any challenge. We have to challenge the challenge itself. That's what I have for today. Usually, as you know, my dear YouTube subscriber or followers, I thank you actually first of all before I'm going to write some points. What you have to know that I always worry about my nation, my country. I know that I am an ordinary person. I never do anything. But I try to convince the people to live together peacefully rather than fighting each other and being in suffering. You know that our people nowadays harvesting, there is drought, hunger, and there is no food, shelter. We live in painful world actually. Our country became hell for everyone. Nobody is satisfied by all means. So when we have to try to resolve the problem peacefully, with together. The other we have to pray and stretch our hand to God. God is the only means to solve our problem. We don't deny Him. We have to pray a lot together. No division, no divide between ethnic, race, and some ethnic cleansing just for the interest of politics. It's bad to be kill innocent people. Stop killing innocent people. There is genocide here in this country. We do a lot of harm. Evil is evil. What we have to struggle to avoid evil. If we eradicate evil, if we become innocent and logical, there may be no solution. That why usually I try to relate things. Just I read some narration, some information, some historical background by my own Facebook, whatever it is, social media, that is YouTube. It is because of I feel sad by all things that happened in my country. So it is better to live together to bring peace. That's what I have. I talked a lot. Thank you so much.